G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Metal video. So in this video we are going to take a look at how the Rainbow INT free-to-play Great Saiyaman performs in the Extreme Super Battle Road stage for the Super class. So this is one of the few Extreme Super Battle Road stages that we can take him in. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs. Obviously we're running him under a Majin Buu Saga team. We are going to utilize a mouse in this first round, and we are going to have him paired up with the LR Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, who are pretty much his best pairing partner. They give him plenty defense, and in this stage he's going to be activating his passive all the time because he is always fighting extreme units. So we're going to get a good look at how he performs in his full power. As you guys can recall, he has a pretty interesting passive and recently got his EZA from the Majin Buu Saga Extreme Z area. So he's become quite powerful and pretty useful as a good unit on the Defenders of Justice team. Of course, I unfortunately do not have the Strength Videl, so I cannot run a Defenders of Justice team. So we're going to be running him here instead on the Majin Buu Saga. Probably the only issue that we actually get with him being paired with the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 is that they're going to very rarely get their 12 key, which means they're like literally almost never ever going to actually seal the enemy, which is, you know, kind of a bummer, but it's okay. It's not too much of an issue. So yeah, we'll take a look at how he performs. A very good first turn from him in terms of damage, 2.2 million. Lowered the attack and defense, and obviously tanked pretty well with just a mouse active. So overall, pretty good so far. Of course, we'll briefly recover his passive. So basically, he starts as Gohan and then instantly transforms into Great Saiyaman. As Great Saiyaman, after his Extreme Z Awakening, he has a 158% defense, a chance of performing a critical hit, and a chance of evading enemies' attack, plus 18%. He also gets a 5 key plus an additional attack and defense of 58% when attacking extreme class enemies. Reduces his damage received by 28% when there is a Pepe Gals or youth category ally attacking in the same turn. And character's super attack will be sealed plus an additional damage reduction of 30% when there is a Pepe Gals or youth category enemy. So we don't have to worry about the Pepe Gals or youth category enemy, because obviously in this stage we only fight extreme class enemies, as it's the super class extreme super battle road stage. In terms of his links, he has pretty interesting links. He has Brainiacs, which is attack and defense of 15% at max level. Saiyan Lineage, which is key plus 2 and attack and defense of 5% at max level. Patrol, which is key plus 2 and defense of 20% at max level. Signature Pose, which is key plus 3 and attack plus 7% at max level. Hero of Justice, which is attack of 25% plus a chance of performing crit plus 5% at max level. Supreme Power, which is attack and defense of plus 10%, and Challenge the Limit, which is key plus 2 and attack and defense of plus 5%. So obviously he can be on the Hybrid Saiyans team, Majin Buu Saga team, Defenders of Justice team, Transformation Boost team, Goku's Family team, and Siblings Bond team. In terms of best operating teams, we're probably looking at Majin Buu Saga and Defenders of Justice, as that's where he can link up with any of his other patrol members, or potentially with the Videl. Obviously, to activate his full perks in terms of his defense, we would have really liked to have a youth category character on the team. Ideally, I don't just want to slap one in there for the sake of activating the full passive, so I kind of went with this kind of team because I thought it would at least at least allow him to show pretty much how good he is to like an 80% capacity. Obviously the damage reduction, that could be achieved on the Defenders of Justice team, or maybe if we slotted another youth character in the same turn, would be really good. But again, obviously, we're trying to limit that kind of thing. I am running them on the other rotation, but it doesn't count. It has to be attacking in the same turn, I believe, to activate the passive. So that is something that you do need to be aware of. Beyond that, he also raises his attack and defense for one turn on his super attack and causes supreme damage to the enemy and lowers their attack and defense. So overall, the super attack actually has really good effects. One of the things is whatever defense you see on Gohan, just remember that will go up slightly, not just because of his attack and defense, but also because he gains a 58% attack and defense when he fires off that super attack. So imagine him sitting here with 130,000 defense or something. Essentially that 130,000 defense will go up, say by 20 or 30,000 due to the 58% increase in passive, alongside with the 20% raise that he gets on his attack and defense after the super attack is fired. So we're looking at something like having an additional 40,000 on 130,000 defense, which is obviously very good. It makes him tank, much better after he fires the super, which is obviously relevant, but it is just something that we want to keep in mind. Obviously the 18% chance to crit is super helpful. We saw him just take 53,000 there without an item active, which is a pretty decent amount. It's actually not too bad without an item, and you can see after how he took nothing. So that kind of proves my theory on the maths. 58,000 before, double digits after. And that's just because obviously that activation of his extra defense plus the additional defense from his normal attack, plus obviously the attack lowering on the Frieza as well, creating an overall net effect that makes him pretty good. So overall pretty cool in terms of super attack effects, and a pretty good unit. His EZA is really helpful and is a really nice free-to-play slot on a Defenders of Justice team, or to help you fill out your Majin Buu Saga team. Super helpful for any kind of SPR or ESPR that you can be on, so you can use him in both the Superclass ones, the Majin Buu Saga ones. You can use him in the Transformation Boost one if you want, I guess, as well. It probably would be viable in there to some extent. The Goku's family stage, he would be okay, except for the problem that you're going to face some Kid Trunkses at some point, and Kid Vegetas, and I think that will activate the ceiling effect on him. And so there are some stages that he's not going to be as effective in. So if you are going to take him into those stages, you're probably going to have to make sure that you focus down the youth units or the Pepe Gals units or whatever you're taking him into, because if you don't focus them down, you essentially are going to run into a spot of trouble. So just make sure that you do that, otherwise you're going to have yourself an issue. He's not going to be able to attack, he's going to dish out no damage. He will still be fine defensively, but because he can't super attack, he won't activate that additional attack and defense, which is a bit of a problem. So obviously you're just relying on his raw defense, which although is obviously very good now, or very decent now, it can still not be as high as required to survive the stage. But if you're just looking for someone to float that can take some hits, you're more than welcome to slot him onto the team, and you can obviously just basically test him out. You can use him as a floating pseudo tank with an item active. He should be more than fine. So you can do that if you are just looking for someone that won't kill you in that last slot every couple turns. More than helpful. And then once you clear out that Pepe Gals or youth category unit, you should be able to use him to his full extent, and that will be great. Obviously we're seeing some pretty good attack stats from him. He's not taking a lot of damage, he's getting some evades, and he's causing some real damage as well, which is really great. So overall we're just seeing a really solid performance from him. Nothing I would say is super ultra extraordinary, but for a free-to-play unit he is just absolutely doing a really solid job. So it's really impressive. Obviously he took 168k there because we had an item active, and that was a type advantage super, so he will still take damage. It's not like he is a brick wall. If we had his damage reduction active, he definitely wouldn't have. They would have taken much less damage. So that is something you can look forward to, and you do need to factor in. That damage reduction also is quite high. I mean, 28% is decent when you have defense like Gohan does. So it definitely is something to factor in if you are running the team. But overall, he's done really well and very impressive for a free-to-play card. Remember, he has a lot of room to grow from his link leveling. So you can run him and link level him if you wish, and you'll probably see a way better performance. He will gain crit chance, he'll gain defense, he'll gain ki, not that he needs it, he gains defense. So overall, he just becomes a really super solid addition to any team. I think before the EZA, I did use this guy for quite a few stages. I used him for the extreme end stage. Actually, I used him in a lot of stages, and I think he's just really improved more and more as his EZA came out. I think he's super reliable now. I think he's great in a lot of stages and content. And for a free-to-play unit, he really fills out the Defenders of Justice team and really just helps out overall with just the synergy of a lot of teams and giving himself as an option. You can now run a pretty decent Great Saiyaman pairing. Obviously, the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 Friend-a-Law don't have any offense to speak of. Not yet anyway, but one day they'll get an EZA. And then we'll definitely be looking at a pretty crazy free-to-play duo, which I think will be really awesome. I think the game needs those type of things, and I think he's a really cool card that will pair well with them in future. He shares a lot of links with them, and that's really great. But so far, he's done really well. We haven't had anything too much to complain about. His performance has been impeccable, and I'm really happy with how they've EZA'd this unit, and I think it's really, really worth it and really helps out the team he's on. Defenders of Justice, I think having a strong free-to-play card like this is fine. The category is very niche. It's not going to grow super quickly or super fast, so having these super strong free-to-players that are more niche, that do have wonkier link sets, really helps out the game, really keeps things flowing properly, and I think it's great. So I'm really happy about this. I'm really happy that Gohan came out, and I'm really impressed with how he's performed. So yeah, obviously we're about to finish up the second stage here. I will be taking this run all the way through. I think it'll be a good measure of how Gohan does. I think it'll be a great way to see just how well he does. I think we've gotten a really good representation so far. I know the final fight is against a physical Goku Black. I think it'll be interesting to see how he does in that stage in terms of, just damage and things like that. So I think that'll be really great. And yeah, we can just, take a look really at how well he does overall, what kind of damage is he going to do, how much damage is he going to take, more importantly, and just overall just a good representation. Unfortunately, we weren't able to avoid the Dokkan attack here. It is something I would have liked to avoid because I would have liked to use it for the final stage to speed it up, but it is just one of those things. Sometimes you can't really change how the orbs fall, and you can't really change like how unlucky we got in terms of additionals or anything, or crits, or whatever brings you to the situation. So that's alright. It just means we'll get a bit more of a look at the Great Saiyaman overall. Obviously, in terms of his link set, while we're here, obviously he links really well with other units like Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, the LR, Great Saiyaman 2 and 1, the other free-to-play card. Then obviously you get the Videl and Gohan card. So there's a lot of decent free-to-play options to pair him up with, which is why he's such a viable free-to-play unit. I think the one thing though that you do need to be a little bit wary of is that other free-to-play units are not entirely up to his speed yet. I mean, linking him with the free-to-play LR gives them a lot more extra defense because of their link set as well, and they actually can tank decently, but they have no damage whatsoever to speak of. So you do need to factor that in overall. Obviously we're getting some dodges in here, which is pretty good. We're not using an item because we want to see how things go and how things fly in terms of all that damage. So yeah, not too bad overall. Pretty impressive from Gohan there. Obviously again he gains a whole bunch of defense on his on his super attack, so that is something to factor in. But you can see how he is taking, or how that Great Saiyaman was taking, a hell of a lot of damage. Obviously he didn't get hit from the Goku Black, which would have been nice, just to see how much damage he took in terms of that Goku Black. But overall he's done really, really well, and he's tanked really, really well. So that's without an item. Obviously really pretty good. Now I'm gonna finish off the stage. Might as well get the dub. There's no real need, but sometimes it's just nice to finish off the stage, show that the unit can take it the full way, or that the team can, I guess, because the unit's done great. So yeah, sometimes it's nice just to go the whole way and take everything the distance. But yeah, obviously a big source of our damage has been the youth duo, I should say. So obviously that is kind of the duo that attended to everything, or did a lot of damage, I should say. Good combination, those two, especially after the EZA and the awakening and everything. Really solid duo, great form of defense and everything. They just do a lot of work offensively, a lot of attack damage, just high numbers, just good crit chance, just everything they bring to the party. So obviously they are super duper helpful, but overall, Great Saiyaman really held his own. He really did quite well. I was really impressed with how he did. I was really happy with how he did. I think I think overall, there's nothing really to be upset about. I think his performance was great. I think he did a really good job. And yeah, I'm quite happy. I mean, another evasion there, another one. Just really good utility as well against extreme class. All those evades add up. All those attack lowerings add up, all that decent damage adds up, all the solid tanking adds up. So he's really just not a unit that's going to let you down. He's going to constantly do a really top job in terms of performance. And he's just, I really am quite happy with his performance. It's an exceptional performance, really. Like a solid, honestly looks like a single or two dupe DFE. That's really what he looks like, which I think is impressive. Anytime a free-to-play card can look like even just look like a DFE, or a single duped DFE is really impressive. I think, those are good designs. I think that's a way of rewarding you. It's a way of saying, hey, you didn't get the top-notch unit on the banner, but you know what? We're going to give you something really cool you can use. Yeah, it's a bit niche. Yeah, it's not as fun as getting the latest unit, but it's still really helpful. It's going to help you finish some of those stages. It's going to help you get some more stones to get some more luck later. And I think, that's really the only way I'd like it. Obviously, we're now running with absolutely no item, so that is something that you can see here in the way these units are tanking and everything. Pretty good tank job there by that Trunks, by the way, taking type disadvantage super attacks with no item. Obviously he's got that whole damage reduction thing going on, but still pretty impressive. And yeah, we'll probably just finish everything up here. Really not too concerned about the Goku. He might kill us, he might not, but he probably won't. We've got a lot of attack lowering on him. We're going to lower his attack once more, and just overall really solid performance. So, but yeah, that's it from me, I think, guys. I think we've seen everything that we need to see from the INT free-to-play Great Saiyaman at a rainbow level. I think he's very impressive. He's great for SBR and SBR events. Maybe not so great in long form events, but even then he's probably really good as a floater on a Defenders of Justice team or something. So yeah, I really think there is nothing to worry about. If you haven't farmed this guy, you have some time to farm him now, but if you do see him pop up in future events, I definitely suggest that you grab him. He's going to be a great addition to any team you can fit him on, or even if you just need him to fill in a slot, he's going to do that job excellently. But that is going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I will see you in the next one. But until then, stay safe, cheers, and bye.